Thomas Weather.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by these fine sponsors. Hear Rich's forecast hourly on these Blue Water Broadcasting radio stations.
Hey, good morning, everybody. On this Tuesday morning, it's 9/11, the date that none of us will ever forget what we were doing and where we were 17 years ago. There's so much to talk about on this video this morning that I'm going to have to pick and choose on what to actually include. For instance, in the tropics, we're only going to talk about Florence, Isaac, and the system in the Gulf of Mexico that will be coming into the Gulf that could become a depression or a tropical storm. As far as Florence goes, I don't know what to tell you except this is a potential disaster looming for the southeastern U.S. and specifically the Carolinas. It is mind-boggling and it will be historic. We'll look at the latest from the Hurricane Center that just came in. And also, Florence will have an indirect effect on our forecast as well. I've got the updated rain chances right on through the weekend. First, another wet day ahead. There's a front parked right over us, and it means another wet day across the area. Here's the forecast.
For us today, you see that front still parked right over us, so showers and thunderstorms will be rather numerous again, especially along and south of that front today, and future radar shows that. So if you got, so I know some of you had over an inch of rain yesterday. I had about a third of an inch here, but if you didn't get it yesterday, today could be your day. Showers and storms scattered to numerous by the afternoon and evening, high in the upper 80s, low tonight down to about 72, and I think the winds today will be light. Tomorrow I've got the rain chances at 50%, but then the rain chances thin out because of Florence. For us, the air will be sinking, so a 30% chance Thursday, then just a isolated storm perhaps Friday, Saturday, Sunday. High temperatures back to the low to mid-90s by then. Meanwhile, we're looking at the forecast for the next few days, and you can see that there'll be scattered storms around. By the way, we're watching the approach on the GFS of Florence coming into the coast. Here's late Thursday p.m. getting closer and closer to the North Carolina coastal region. According to the American model, the GFS, it's farther north than the other global models. For us, just isolated storms because of the subsistence around Florence. Here's Saturday afternoon on the GFS. More on Florence in just a moment. First, let's take a wide view of the entire tropics. It's crazy. Between here and Africa, you've got Florence, you got Isaac, you got Helene, and some other systems, including 94L, which is a invest, and 95L, which we care about because it's in the Western Caribbean, heading for the Gulf of Mexico. First, Florence. Powerful Category 4 hurricane this morning with 140-mile-an-hour winds, moving off to the west-northwest, and actually aiming for the Carolinas, where it will be a major hurricane at landfall. And now a hurricane watch has been issued from roughly the Charleston, South Carolina area all the way up to the Virginia border, including the entire North Carolina coast. There it is as a Category 3 hurricane coming in late Thursday night or Friday morning into North Carolina or near the North Carolina-South Carolina border. The European showing that Friday morning at 7 a.m. And even Saturday morning, the European still has it parked in just about the same position. That is troubling. Sunday morning, farther inland, causing prolific amount of rain. They'll be measuring rain in feet, maybe up to 3 to 4 feet. Isaac is a tropical storm now, will become a hurricane again, and then approach the islands, the Caribbean islands, later this week, and then into the Caribbean. But will Isaac then turn into the Atlantic? Or will Isaac continue into the Gulf of Mexico? Or will Isaac fall apart? The future is unknown. Meanwhile, we're looking at this system here in the Western Caribbean that is in our backyard, moving in the general direction of the Gulf of Mexico. That looks pretty healthy this morning on the satellite. 95L has at least a 50% chance of development into the Gulf of Mexico, probably heading towards Texas, but because it's in our backyard, we're watching it carefully. There's some of the tracks. At least one track goes towards us, but most of the tracks go towards Texas, so we'll continue to watch 95L, which could become a depression, and maybe eventually Tropical Storm Joyce. We'll see.
Obviously, I'll continue to keep you up to date on Florence because it involves the southeastern U.S. and our neighbors, and it's such a big story. Plus, what about that system in the Gulf? There's just so much to keep track of. Live on the radio this morning from 6 to 9 on News Talk 93.1. Hey, Ben Lang and myself will be talking weather this morning at 5:50 a.m. I'm sure the tropics will take center stage, and our morning crew interacts with their morning crew at 6:40 a.m. on ABC 32 and CBS 8, the Alabama News Network. Another video first thing tomorrow morning, and your forecast whenever you want it across the dial on 8 radio stations, the Blue Water family of stations. Have a good day. I'll see you later.
Rich Thomas Weather.